my 401k portfolio, and this portfolio could have been over 120% in gains if I hadn't made these two crucial mistakes. I'm going to tell you what both of these are. And this, I feel like, is the biggest enemy any investor that is doing individual stock picking. That is one, for nothing, and too much diversification. Look, both are true. You need some diversification to protect yourself in case of downturn. You should always have the confidence to say, if I could, I would buy this whole business. That doesn't mean you should actually do it. For example, let's say you bet the entire house on Nvidia 3 years ago. Today, you would be at 10x your portfolio. But what if you didn't? What if you invested your entire house on United Health? You would be down 40% in 3 years. That is the fact of one for all or all for nothing type of investments. Now, the opposite thing is also true. What if you diversify too much? And that is also a thing. In this account, one of the biggest mistakes I made, I had over 20 different selections. And you know what ended up happening? Nothing. My portfolio would go up very small and will go down very small to a point where I was just barely beating the S&P. It wasn't until I got rid of a lot of junk stocks and concentrated my portfolio that it started rising. I did the math on my own. This would be in my own retirement account. This is my 401k. I would have over 120% returns. So I've lost 50% returns because of over diversification. Now, there's another thing I did for a short period of time, but I ended up changing that very quickly. I went heavy on two stocks. That also caused my portfolio not only to stagnate, but actually go down. This is the line you see right here. It wasn't until I started actually diversifying a little bit in a small concentration that I was able to see these gains. How should you approach this? In my personal opinion, you want to have a healthy number of anywhere from 5 to 10 stocks, no more than 10. If you're going to invest more than 10 stock, you might as well do the S&P 500. And you don't want to have less than 5. Reason why you don't want to have less than 5, you're betting the house on just a small handful of companies to give you return. And what if something happens to those companies? You're done. What if you invest in a single sector? You're also done. Personal opinion and very controversial. 7 is the golden rule for diversification. Never go over 7 and never go under 7. 7 just happens to be one of the luckiest numbers ever. So take that for what it's worth. And if you're struggling to find great companies, or if you're struggling to put numbers behind your thesis, go check out calminvestor.net. That's exactly what this website does. And we just had a fresh new rehaul of the website.